And he says, but in real life, we humans actually care for some really spectacular and amazing creatures, especially those who have gotten into trouble. And now we see a manatee. LeVar says that these friendly manatees are way too big to fit into the bathtub and wouldn't be very happy on the couch, because he's still thinking about My Life with a Wave. And then he introduces us to a park ranger named Betsy and a veterinarian named Mark, who are taking care of manatees in the quiet waters of Homosassa Springs. Homosassa Springs is in Florida, and they have a state park there. And LeVar looks a little bit younger there. So this is definitely not filmed the same year that the rest of this episode was shot. This is, in fact, another recycled segment from the episode Sam the Sea Cow. That episode was all about manatees and saving them as an endangered species. And a great deal of that episode shows LeVar helping these guys rescue manatees, and we see a few minutes of that right here in My Life with the Wave. So these are injured manatees that they're looking at here, and they have scars from being hit by boats. They got scratched up by boat propellers. And there's a dish floating on the water with some food on it, and they're going to feed the manatees. They have some monkey biscuits, which are vitamin mineral biscuits. And so she takes one of these biscuits and puts her hand under the water, and the manatee just eats it under the wire there. And they also have lettuce, cabbage, and carrots, because the manatees are vegetarians. And they say that the manatees eat hyacinths and hydrilla grass that grows along the river. They say the manatees spend most of their day eating, sleeping, and playing, and LeVar says that's not a very bad way to live. Eat, sleep, and play all day. And the scientist believes that the manatee might be a descendant of the elephant because their toes look similar to elephants' toes. It's funny, we were just talking about elephants a minute ago. Now, I personally don't believe in the whole evolution thing, but I do see some similarities between the manatees and elephants, because they also mentioned that a manatee's face is kind of like an elephant's trunk, the way they kind of use the end of their face to reach out and grab food, similar to the way an elephant's trunk does. And as they look at the manatee's skin, they notice that there's a very small amount of body hair, which means that the manatee is in fact a mammal. If you've seen the episode Sam the Sea Cow, you probably already know that, because sea cow obviously makes milk. And then we see that their nostrils have valves that open and close, almost like eyelids. I remember when I was a kid, I looked at that and I saw the nostrils closing. I thought that was its eyes closing, but no, it was the nose. It's another thing that makes it a mammal. They have to hold their breath underwater and then come up to the surface to breathe. Now, the music in this segment was not used in Sam the Sea Cow. I believe they added this for the My Life with the Wave version. We see some shots of manatees swimming and moving their tails similar to a beaver tail. And they talk about how manatees are an endangered species, and there were only like 14,000 some in Florida at the time that this was filmed. And finally, LeVar comments on how even though manatees are like very large animals, they're very gentle and friendly. And the park ranger says, we call them gentle giants, and LeVar agrees, gentle giants is exactly what they are. And at the very end, we see one final shot of a manatee kind of swirling around in the water. And LeVar says, when a manatee playfully tumbles through the water, it's a sign he's healthy again. That's when he's ready to return to the wild. And the segment ends right here in My Life with the Wave, but in Sam the Sea Cow, the adventure continues with LeVar actually helping these guys get the manatee back into the wild. And I didn't see that episode until many years later. Alright, My Life with the Wave continues back on Long Beach, New York. He says the ocean is full of many living things that need our care.